Hello and welcome to Healing with Julie Bishop. In today's video, I want to talk to you about boundaries and what if. I'm going to combine these two topics together because they kind of go hand in hand. So for the last 4 years, since COVID, a lot of people have been living in a what if life. They've been living in a lot of fear, a lot of worry, a lot of doubt. And I want to talk to you about what fear and worry and what doubt does. And I want to encourage you to stop living in that what if life. First of all, it doesn't matter if you're a believer or not a believer. Grief, worry, angriness, sadness, they're all very common emotions. They're actually a frequency. But over time, those specific types of emotions will do nothing but cause stress and harm to the body. I know firsthand, being angry, having a lot of sadness and grief just kills the lungs and the liver. So we have to figure out how we can get out of that what if mentality and how we can set boundaries so that we can live what life we have left is happy and is peaceful and abundantly the way that God has wanted us and chosen us to live. I used to be that girl that let every single thing bother me. I mean, if someone made a comment, I had to jump right in. Now I'm getting better at just kind of sitting back and letting things kind of ride sometimes. Now, sometimes if it's a topic that I'm like super passionate about, I definitely will jump in. Not to say that I'm always right, but there's certain things you just have to, like, for example, on Facebook, you just have to scroll by and just say, not today. I'm not feeding into that negative energy. It's not worth it. It's not worth my time, my vibration going from here to there. And I think that, if we all, and this isn't going to happen because we don't live in a perfect world and we were born into sin, but I think if we all could sit back and stop living this what if life and stop having this fear of everything and this worry, we would heal. And not just heal physically, but heal mentally and emotionally and spiritually. And like I said, it doesn't matter if you're a believer or not. I know that the Bible tells us at least 300 times that God doesn't want us to fear. And He did not give us a spirit of fear. He gave us a spirit of peace and a sound mind. So for the last 4 years, I have watched people live in complete fear of not leaving their home, fear of losing their job, fear of sickness, fear of death. And that's, of course, what's been created to cause the division and cause this plan that we're, seeing and still enduring 4 days. I wish it was 4 days, 4 years later. And I had a conversation with someone earlier today on the phone, and I won't go into detail about it, but she used the word fear a couple times. And she also kept saying, well, what if this happens? And what if that happens? And what if, and what if? And I'm like, whoa, like, we have to stop. And this, when I say we, I put myself into this category too. We have a choice every single day. When you wake up and you take breath, that's a blessing. you need to thank God for hitting your feet to the floor and for you opening your eyes. And you have a choice every day to say, I'm going to be that person that makes it happen, or I'm going to be that person who wishes it would happen and wants it to happen, but I won't allow myself to let it happen because I'm so stuck in this fight, flight, or freeze mode. And I was like that for a very long time. I wouldn't even leave my house, not because of what's been going on for the last 4 years with COVID, but I was that way because of illness and sickness, because I was scared to drive. I was scared I'd have a panic attack. I was scared I would be in a store and feel hot or sick or shaky. And your brain is so powerful. And my brain was actually stuck. It was literally stuck in a rut. And I had to pull myself out with DNRS, which is dynamic neural retraining system of the brain. And I had to, get out of that fear, rewire those actual neurons and those axons and those dendrites in the brain. There's a saying from Dr. Dispenza and Annie Hopper that says neurons that wire together fire together. And it took a lot of, repetition of positive writing and journaling and affirmations daily, as well as even some hand motions, foot motions. If you know the system, you'll know how the DNRS program works. But it's not just a one-time thing. It's a daily routine that you do for an hour a day for at least 6 months. And right now, I am still seeing people they're walking around in fear. And it's so unhealthy for their emotional status, their lungs, their body. I have several friends who are psychologists. I know several people who work in the medical field. And we are at an all-time rate of the highest suicide ever. And that makes me sad. Children, adults, we're also at an all-time high of loneliness and grief, where people are just losing it because they've been locked up, they've been quarantined. Loneliness is awful. I actually posted a meme earlier on Facebook that said, and I won't remember the exact words, but it said something about, don't let loneliness put you back into any kind of toxic person or toxic relationship just because you're thirsty. And, I go through spells where I'm like, I want my husband, I want that soulmate, I want that best friend. But the reality is that I'm not willing to settle. I'm not quite that thirsty yet. So let's stop living this what if life. What if this happens? What if this happens during the election, this election? What if this happens during, this year with my health? What if I try this new product and it makes me sick? What if my child doesn't do this? What if my husband cheats? Do you see where I'm getting at? We can live a what if life every day. And if we live that what if life, we are taking our high frequency vibration that we should be at, and we're putting it to a very low frequency vibration. And that's not healthy, because if we knew what the future truly held every single day, none of us would want to get out of bed, because you don't know when you leave your home if you're coming back. You don't know what's going to happen. So you have to get up with the can-do mentality. I have this mentality. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I am awesome. I am amazing. And sure, there's going to be bumps. There's going to be roadblocks. but it's how you handle it, which brings me to the second part of this video called boundaries. So I ran a Facebook group for about 3 years. I don't know, there's maybe 3, 4, or 5,000 people in it. And I was that girl who had to respond to every single comment that was posted, every single message that was sent my way. I had to respond. And it got to a point where I'm like, Julie, you have to pay attention to yourself, to your own health, your self-care, your daughter. You cannot sit on your phone all day long. I'm gonna tell you right now, phones, laptops, they're a curse. Like, gosh, do I ever miss the days where we just played out in the dirt with worms and sand, and we walked the streets, and we didn't have cell phones, and I don't know, I had a pager. I miss those days. I rode my bike. We played outside. We were on the swings. We were on the teeter-totters. We walked to the Dairy Queen to get an ice cream. We weren't so locked in to our phone. Now, I'm guilty of it because I'm in sales, and I'm, being in sales, you pretty much either, pound the pavement and get the sale, or you ignore it and you're not successful. But there comes a point too where everyone needs to have a boundary. And that boundary may be with your husband, it may be with your wife, it may be with your kids. It's okay to say no. It's okay to not have to be in the know of everything. It's okay to not be on Facebook for, 10 hours a day. It's okay to not respond to someone right away. Now, my biggest pet peeve is not responding to text messages and emails and phone calls within a reasonable time. Now, if someone hasn't responded to me for days, I get a little aggravated. But it's okay sometimes to say, you know what? I need a break. I need to step back for a moment, and I need to pray, or I need to deep breathe, or I need to go paint my nails or do my hair, or I need to spend time with my wife or my husband or my kids. I need to complete a project. I need that daily dose, that dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphin. I need to play with my pets. I think if we could stop feeling like we have to live in this fight, flight, or freeze in this fast-paced world all day long, we would have such a more peaceful inner peace, a more peaceful mind, and we'd have a more peaceful life, which in turn would have better health and better sleep. I know personally, I used to talk super, super fast. I was like 100 miles a minute, and my anxiety was probably at like a 50. And through all the detoxing that I've done, not just emotionally, but physically and spiritually, now I'm like, whoa, slow down. Even when I'm on sales calls and someone is rapid firing like 20 questions at me, I'm like, okay, hold on. Let's take a step back. Let me answer one question at a time. Same thing when someone's texting me or emailing me. And clients do this to me a lot. They have like 50 questions, and I'm like, okay, hold on. I'm going to answer one at a time. But it's me. I'm in control of how I feel. Not always. Sure, there's some days we're going to wake up that we didn't expect a headache. I didn't ask for that, and I can't control that. There might be days that we wake up and, your child is sick, and obviously that tears your mood down a little bit. But I'm in control, and you're in control of how you handle the situation. And that's what is important, is how we handle it and what boundaries we put up. Some important boundaries that I have actually conquered here in the last year that have really helped me is to really think before I speak. Watch my words. Don't always have a comeback, even though in my mind there might be 25 wheels spinning. make sure that I spend quality time for myself, healing on an emotional, physical, and spiritual level. Take time to be with my Creator, praying, worshiping, kneeling, whatever I need to do. Take time to be with my daughter. Go have those self-care days. I don't care if it's just getting your nails painted or your toes painted or that manicure, pedicure, that massage. Or if you're just going to walk around the store, maybe not to buy anything, just to look, just to get out of the fast-paced atmosphere. I've noticed too that I don't have to answer every single call that comes in. I don't have to respond right away. Sometimes I do because it's my nature, but I'm learning that, hey, when someone texts me at 9, 10, 11 p.m. and it's a client, I'm going to wait until tomorrow because there's nothing I can do about it at that time anyway, especially if it's like a service issue. So just putting those boundaries up, maybe silencing your phone at 9 p.m. and saying, okay, I'm going to be off my phone. I'm going to have blue blockers on. I'm going to start letting my brain wind down. I'm not going to be on my phone if I wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning. If I wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning, I'm going to pray. I'm going to deep breathe. I'm going to put myself into happy beach, fairy sand land or whatever you did as a kid that was fun. You have to set boundaries in life. You have to say no. I work with so many clients and I'm seeing people not heal because they can't say no. They're like, well, my daughter needs me, my grandson needs me, my granddaughter needs me. I have this to do and that to do and this to do. And they have 50 things to do in one day. No. I used to be that girl. I ran like an Energizer bunny from 5:30 in the morning until 8 p.m. at night. And eventually you crash. Eventually the trigger events and the trauma just keep layering and layering, and that onion keeps getting larger and larger and deeper. So I hope that this video has encouraged you a little bit to write down, journal, write down your affirmations, journal, set boundaries. Know that you don't always have to be in the thick of everything that's going on right now. Do not watch the news. Do not program your mind to television. Yes, I said television. Do not program yourself to any of that stuff. Fill yourself with positive. I'm not saying that I live a perfect positive life because yes, things aggravate me. Yes, I can be negative. Yes, people can get on my nerves. But a lot of times I have to sit back and step back. And if that means me drawing something, writing something, working a puzzle, doing something with my daughter, hey, let's go bake some cookies, or let's go run an errand. Let's go here, let's go there. I have to get out of the house. I have to get away from the phone. I'm going to set the phone down for at least 2 to 3 hours. It's important. It's so important for your mental health. So the point of this video was to encourage you to stop living in fear, stop living that what if life, because what if isn't going to get you anywhere. You're going to live the past and you're not going to worry about today or the future, because we can what if all day, every day. And then set the boundaries. Don't be afraid to say no. Hey, I'm so sorry. I'd love to help you today, but I just can't. I actually have my own life and my own things going on, and I really hope that you find someone to help you. Maybe I can help you a different day, but today's just not the day. Those are the things I'm talking about. And when you do that, you will feel a peace that comes over you externally and internally. It may be hard at first because it's hard to tell our family members no. It's hard to tell our friends no. But in the end, you'll say, you know what? Now I'm just used to setting those boundaries. And boundaries are so, so important for your autonomic nervous system, your parasympathetic nervous system, and your central nervous system. I work with people all day long. I do a lot of energy frequency work. And if you could see the emotional panels, because I can see exactly what's going on with their brain waves, what they're thinking, because every thought, every feeling is an emotion. I mean this respectfully, but people are a train wreck. They are absolutely in hysteria mode. They're in mania mode. They're stressed out of their minds. They're feared out of their minds. They're riddled with anxiety, and they cannot get that sense of peace or calmness that they need. Whatever it takes for you to get that peace, whether it's praying every day, I get a lot of peace when I pray. If it's journaling, if it's breathing, stretching, if it's DNRS, which is dynamic neural retraining system of the brain, if it's sauna, if it's salt therapy, if it's a hot bath, if it's a massage, whatever it is, you deserve to stay in that parasympathetic rest and digest state as much as you can. And you'll notice that your cortisol levels will drop. You won't be as bloated. You won't have the tension and the tight muscles if you will set boundaries and stop living that what if life. So please make sure that you like this video, you comment, you subscribe, and you've hit that notification bell. Thanks so much for watching. God bless.